Hello, everyone. I'm Bogdan. I am your guest for the podcast. I am here with Anders today. I believe we are going to do a very, very interesting podcast. Hello, Anders, and thank you very much for accepting my invite. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi Bogdan, thank you so much for having me. I've been excited to do this podcast. It's been a while since I've done a podcast in English. To be honest, I do most of them in Danish, but it's a pleasure that you'll have me here and talk a bit about my company and entrepreneurship in general, and have a friendly conversation about that. So I speak Danish. I'm a Dane. Live in Denmark, in Aarhus, the second biggest city here, and currently working on my third startup named Herodesk, which is a customer support tool for small, medium-sized web shops. So we've spent quite a lot of time developing a product that tries to make it easy for the webshop owner and the support team to help their customers across platforms, across different communication channels, while still using artificial intelligence to support the customer journey and the customer support team. Most recently also released our own AI agent to do suggested replies and chatbot inside our program. So that's really exciting.
Very interesting. So this is the main business that you're working on right now?
It is the only business I'm working on. So as I said, Herodesk is my third startup. The last one I had, we sold that in 2016 to the European listeners might know Team Blue, which is a cross-European hosting company today with more than 2,500 employees and I think 3 billion revenue or something. So a pretty big business that we sold to back then in 2016, and I was part of that journey for 6 years before leaving that company 3 years ago and starting Herodesk afterwards. So
Nice.
that's the only thing I'm doing now.
Nice. So you already have, how many exits do you have? Or one?
That's the only exit I had. So the company I had before Mebox, as my last business was called, it never really turned out to be anything. It's just kind of, we were selling Counter-Strike servers and Ventrilo servers and TeamSpeak servers and all that back in 2017. 2007 and 2008 it was.
Okay.
Back when it was actually possible you had to buy the servers with third-party providers before Steam started to provide them themselves. So I got out of that business with the skin on my nose before Steam insourced the entire industry. Herodesk is Mebox is the exit I had last and the only really exit I have in my belt.
Right now, what's the story behind Herodesk?
Yes, so let me just take a step back because there's some history to that. So when I joined Team Blue, I was part of a Danish business called Dandomain, which has an e-commerce division, basically a local Shopify competitor, right? With I think we had 5,000 or 6,000 web shops on our platform back when I was a part of that. So in that, I was the commercial director. So I talked to hundreds of customers, if not thousands, that had their own web shops and what they struggle with. And they kind of all struggle with the same three things. It's payment, it's shipping, and it's customer support. And there are lots of solutions for payments and for shipping, lots of solutions for that. But what I learned was that while customer support is a super red ocean with lots of possible tools and solutions and all that, many of the very successful ones have moved so much up in the market, meaning that their solutions are so complex or so expensive now that my analysis was the entire market has opened from below for someone offering a simpler and cheaper solution. I mean, our suite can maybe only do like 70% of what some of the big boys can do, but we only cost like a third or half, and we still do the 70% that's important to the customers, right? So really trying to have an approach with a super simple offering that does what it needs to do, targeted the small, medium-sized businesses.
That's very interesting, to be honest. The way that you've noticed a trend and then, put your foot on the gas on this business to take advantage of it. Regarding of trends. Okay, please, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That after being in a very corporate job for a handful of years, I also felt the urge to have my own company again, to start from scratch, to build something myself again, which was, the starting point, right? I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to have my own business, and then moving on to, okay, what do I actually want to do? What do I want to build? What do I want to sell? How do I want to organize the business? All those thoughts that come up before you start and during the very early stages of the startup. It all started with the wish and dream about having my own company again, being fully remote, fully independent, not least my own boss. And then it shows this. I love to build software. I'm a software engineer and have taken my fingers. I've programmed most of the application myself. So yeah, a lot of it's also driven by my own need for being deep in the tech and deep in the product.
This is very interesting. Yeah, we were talking about trends a little bit earlier. Do you see any trends in the SaaS space?
I see a very unfortunate trend that a lot of vibe-coded shit is coming out at the moment, and I hope that so a lot of vibe-coded applications pop up right now, and I think that most of them are just LLM wrappers at best, and I think right now it's very popular. Give it a few years, maybe not even that long, before I think a lot of it is gone again. But I think it can be very confusing, and I also feel that a lot of it honestly lacks the quality and the depth required to really build a business on it. So that's definitely a trend, and one that, AI is a great assistant for building software. It can do amazing stuff, right? And looking at myself, I mean, my productivity has probably increased 30, 40, maybe 50% after I started using AI agents as a co-pilot, as a helping hand. But the trend of vibe coding something and just putting it out there and praying for the best, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. Can you talk maybe for the audience that's watching right now and doesn't know what vibe coding is? Can you touch base on that?
Yes. So, back in the good old days when you had to build a computer program, you had a programmer actually writing the instructions to the computer about what it should do and how it should behave, right? So you had to write in a programming language. There are lots of different programming languages, but you had to write a language that the computer understood. With vibe coding, you can ask an AI agent in natural language, please create an application that helps me do this and works in this way and looks like that and works like that. So you just write in natural language like you and I are talking now, and then the agent translates your natural language into computer code, which becomes the product that can run on the internet or on a server or whatever. So that's kind of, of course, you can't just vibe code a whole application. You have to be able to go in and do fine tuning, debugging, all that stuff, because at least for the time being, we're not at a place where it just works out of the box. We'll probably get there at some point. But at least for the time being, you still need someone capable of understanding the computer code that comes out to do the fine tuning, to do the debugging and all that, and actually make it work. But I see a lot of things coming up of, questionable quality to put it nicely.
Yeah. Right now, for SaaS founders or SaaS businesses in general, is there anything that's making the landscapes more challenging or easier to operate?
Yeah, I mean, the time to market is going down, obviously, with the AI agents that can help you create the application. And I think, I've been thinking a bit about this, and I'm not really worried about my business and similar businesses because of this, because I still think many customers. So there are some people arguing that SaaS is going to die because people can just vibe code their own applications. I am not a supporter of that. I still think that there are a lot of people who don't want to spend the time, invest the time required to actually try to build something to make it work, that are actually perfectly fine paying 10, 20, 30, 100 euros a month for a piece of software that works and that's built with high quality by qualified people that does the job, and they don't need to worry about it. I still think there are a huge market for that kind of software.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's some short-term competitive changes to the landscape with all the different solutions popping up. But I think those who have the stamina to push through will come out strong on the other side.
This is very interesting. Right now, let's go into the marketing side a little bit. So, as you know, probably for a SaaS, marketing is super important for every business in general. It's very important, but especially for online business or service-based businesses. So first question on the marketing side, how do people find about you and your product?
So it's funny to go into marketing because that's probably the area where I'm definitely the weakest, right? Of the things I can do, marketing is just not my thing. Unfortunately, I have some very skilled people helping me with that. But so again, let me take a step back. So Herodesk is a software in a very red market with lots of alternative solutions, competitors. And many of the competitors are huge American companies that are either on this publicly traded or funded by venture capital. So I'm going to put it like they have unlimited money. Of course they don't, but for someone like me, it feels like they have unlimited money. Therefore, I cannot compete with them on Google Ads, for example. I cannot try to win the same search phrases and be number one in the paid ads and all that. It just doesn't make sense. I can't pay what they're paying. So we have to take a different approach to this. So our approach is we have 3 legs in our marketing. So we have number one, not in prioritized order in any way, but one of the 3 legs we have is founder-led marketing. I'm super active on LinkedIn, doing a lot of posts and sharing the journey, telling what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it like this, everything we believe in and stuff like that. That's driving a decent amount of traffic. Then we have a top funnel marketing, paid marketing, very much on social media, on YouTube, on Google Display Network. So very top funnel, trying to target the right kind of audience to get them onto our webpage, and then a whole retargeting flow from there. And finally, we have a lot of word of mouth and networking effects we've built. So we're based in Denmark, and the majority of our customers are in Denmark right now. The product is built to be, language and currency and industry independent, but I have a lot of network in Denmark, so this is where we've started. And we've also built a lot of integrations for Danish companies. So Danish warehouse management system, Danish smaller e-commerce platforms, again, Shopify competitors. Obviously, we also have Shopify, but we have, in Denmark, for example, you have the Dan Domain e-commerce that I worked with previously. You have 5,000 web shops there, which is big in Denmark, but it's too small that the international competitors wants to build an integration with them. So we've gained quite a lot of customers on building local integrations that can tie things together in the Danish ecosystem. And because we have that, we also gain a word of mouth effect, because the e-commerces, they talk together. So when we get a customer that integrates their web shop, their warehouse management system, their return systems, all of that into one customer support platform, they think it's really good, and they tell their network about it. So that's the 3 legs that we're building our marketing on right now.
That's very interesting. I was about to ask you, the next question would be, what channels do you use for marketing? But right now I rephrase the question in what channels have you used in the past and didn't work, or maybe they did work but you didn't prefer them?
So we have had an agency doing cold outbound phone for us. So they were calling on a list of potential customers. It worked okay in the beginning. I think we got some decent results from that because, again, it's very difficult to start from zero in this industry. So it worked okay, and they booked some good meetings, and we got, maybe the first 50 or 80 customers or something like that. But, the effects just started to fade out, and it became less and less efficient. So we actually shut that down just before the summer this year. So that's one thing we tried. It was good for a time. Then it wasn't, and maybe we'll pick it up again in another format later. I don't know yet, but that's one channel we use to try to get new customers. That again worked pretty well when we were very, very new and didn't have any customers at all. To try to penetrate the market and just get some people to talk to us. But as we've grown a bit and have more traction, the effect. The ROI on that channel has just become so it decreased so much compared to the other channels we have.
So cold calling was one of the things you've tried. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, but it got your first 50 to 80 clients, right? As
you
said.
It definitely. So it was great in the time where we used it, but I think it's also important to if not every month, every week, just keep track of your ROI on your different marketing channels to see how much are you paying for each lead, for each customer, to be super precise on where to invest the money, because we don't have unlimited money. We have to be very careful about where we choose to invest our money.
Yeah, it makes sense. How easy is it for you to attract and retain high quality marketing members, if you have any marketing team members?
So right now I actually only have one part-time, which is he's a personal friend of mine, so he's helping us part-time on marketing, and then we have an agency doing much of the daily work on marketing. So I don't have any full-time employees on marketing at the time.
Okay. Right now, let's go into the current state. So
Hmm?
what are you responsible for right now as a founder? And how are you currently spending your day?
So we have a very small team. So right now it's just me. It's one customer success manager and one full stack developer. So we're just a team of 3 plus the part-time marketing man I just mentioned. So
Yeah.
Sarah, our customer success manager, she's doing everything customer facing, right? Sales demos, onboarding meetings, customer support, all that. And our developer is doing all the new features and stuff like that that I ask him to, and I'm basically doing the rest. So it's a still very early stage startup, trying to juggle everything at the same time and doing everything you do as a founder, I guess. But if a good day for me, I get to spend maybe half the day building new features or programming something for the program, but also it's software. So I've chosen not to host this on Amazon or Versal or something like that. We've actually based it all on virtual servers from Hetzner. So that has the obvious pro that it's super cheap, super stable, super fast. It has the con that Hetzner delivers empty Ubuntu servers to us, so I have to manually sign into the console and set up and configure everything. So there's a small maintenance overhead on that, and I spend some time doing that because, as we get more customers and load increases and stuff like that, you have to also maintain the backend systems. And then a lot of customer support, not a lot, some customer support, customer meetings, follow up with customers, a bit of everything. It's still the somewhat chaotic startup phase that we're in, but something I hope to slowly move out of, so to speak, next year. Start to hire some more people to take responsibility for more sales, more customer success, so I can, do less execution on that day to day. More developers, so we can get a higher throughput on our development, and making sure that we move the business in the right direction.
That's awesome. Do you have any metrics in mind that are super important for you? Maybe the most important ones.
Number one, cash flow. If you run out of cash, it's game over. It's simple as that. So that's probably the number I'm looking at the most. And then cash flow forecasts. At the end of the day, if you don't have money to pay your bills, it's game over. I think second to that is the monthly recurring revenue, because at Herodesk you either pay monthly or yearly in advance. So the cash flow is not the same as our monthly recurring revenue. Often our cash flow is better because we have customers paying 12 months in advance. But the MRR is also a good, very good metric to see the development of the business, right?
Yeah,
then we have lots of usage metrics, right? So number of customers, number of users, how many messages are being sent by each customer, which channels, is it email, is it Instagram, is it Facebook, is it live chat, which channels are they using to communicate with their customers? A lot of usage metrics that we use to both prioritize, get an understanding of what our customers are doing.
Okay. I love what you said with the first thing, that it's game over if you don't have cash flow, and you're totally right. What can I say? Right now,
Yeah.
let's talk about goals. Do you have any goals for the next 6 to 12 months? And what are they?
So we obviously do. I just finished our 2026 budgets, and our goal is simply to 4x the business next year. So I'm very transparent with everything I do at Herodesk, and if all goes as planned, we're going to end this year with an MRR just north of 20,000 euros. And the goal is to 4x that next year and end 2026 with an MRR of 80,000 euros. That's obviously not going to come by itself. One thing is to lay the plan, write down the plan and make the budgets and all that. It's a very different story to actually execute it. So we've made a pretty precise forecast about what we believe is necessary to get to that point, which includes everything from new team members we need to hire, new initiatives on the marketing side, new initiatives on the product side, different things we believe is necessary to get to that point. Yeah. So that's super hot right now for us internally, something we talk a lot about and discuss how we're going to execute that plan.
Well, what can I say? I wish you all the best in achieving that goal.
Thanks.
What's right now So I rephrase it. What matters more than anything to you right now?
Being successful. So we just launched our AI agents like 3 weeks ago. So up until October 1st, we've been a Helpdesk tool, right? So we gather all customer questions across channels in one system, makes it easy for the support team to collaborate about solving them, integrate with the e-commerce platform, warehouse management, and all that. Make it easy for humans to help humans. We've been super good at that. We're still super good at that. But now we've added the AI agents on top, right? So the whole point of the AI agents is that it's not a silver bullet that'll solve everything for our customers. It's a helping hand that may increase their efficiency by 30%, 40%, whatever, and also in some cases pick the low-hanging fruit, meaning solve simple customer questions autonomously. So what's super important to me right now is to succeed with that product. We've spent like half a year building this. Invested a lot of time, a lot of money in building it. So we've built our own agents from the ground up. I'm super proud of what we've built here. And what's important is to get it out in front of as many customers as possible and actually being successful with it. See that the suggested replies it composes are being used by our customers, to see that it's able to solve customer questions autonomously when being deployed on the customer's websites as a live chat. And getting the feedback that confirms that we've built the right thing, or at least get some feedback to see where we have to adjust to be just the right thing, right? We're at a point now where about somewhere between 80 and 100 agents are deployed now. About a third of them are actually live, meaning that they do suggested replies and chats, autonomous chats every day. So we're already starting to get a lot of feedback. But that's really, really top of mind and probably the most important project in terms of product-related project we have right now.
Yeah.
I think it's super exciting. I mean, we can just see that, in the customer support space. Yeah, and in the customer support space, we can just see that more and more tasks are being handled by autonomous agents, which makes sense because a lot of the questions that the customers has are typically something that an agent can reply to, respond to, and handle without needing a human to spend time on it. And it is significantly cheaper to have an AI agent handle a customer question than it is to have a human-to-human conversation. So
yeah, of course.
That's really important for us to succeed with.
Very interesting. What is right now your biggest challenge and why?
Oh, that's a great question. What's the biggest? Yeah, so as we just talked about before we hit record, I haven't seen the questions ahead of time, so everything is like on the fly, which kind of how I like it best. I think our biggest challenge is to get our product in front of enough of the right people. Because, I mean, we have 215 paying customers today. We are sending close to 20,000 emails every day on behalf of those customers. So we can see that about a third of our new customers are being referred to us by existing customers. I believe we have something you might call product market fit, right? So I'm super confident about our product and about the market and the problem we solve for our customers. So the biggest challenge is actually to get it in front of enough of the right people to show them that we exist, because once we do that, we can just see that the majority of the people that we tell about this, they choose to sign up and they want to at least test it out, if not get fully onboarded and started.
Okay, that's very interesting. How have you, I think my next question would be, how have you approached to solving this problem? But I believe the response would be the things that you've done on marketing before and you're doing right now, right?
Yes, and then we have some new initiatives that we're going to start in 2026 that I'm not quite ready to disclose yet. But we have some new initiatives that are coming out, 2 months from now, that I'm super excited about as well.
Okay, very interesting. Right now, here it comes, my favorite question of the podcast. So buckle up for it. If you had a magic wand right now that you could wave to solve one thing, what that one thing would be?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, there's so much to choose from. I think if I could just solve one thing, that would be finding the right people. It's super difficult to find the right people because, I mean, if I have the right people, I believe I can make anything work. So the challenge is to find those people and to hire them and to get all that done. But, instead of the easy one saying get 1,000 customers or build the AI agents or whatever. I think a more realistic and I think a more long-term thing would be to find the right people, because that's challenging. That's really challenging. I have been super fortunate and lucky with the 2 employees I have today. I believe that they are absolute best in class at what they do. We're hiring right now, trying to find some more people, and I won't accept anything else than best in class, because that's what we need to succeed. We're not a team so small as ours. We can't afford to have anyone that's not best in class, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say finding the right people is probably the biggest challenge, because when we have those people in place in the right position doing the right things, I believe we can make pretty much anything work.
That's very interesting. Thank you very much for answering this question and for answering all my questions until now. I have one more. So right now, if you could leave a message to the world, maybe someone that's just starting a SaaS business, maybe someone that has a SaaS business and it doesn't work the way it should or the way they want it to, what would you tell them?
Forget about everything you read on Twitter and on LinkedIn. 99.9% of successful businesses are being built up year after year. It's a grind, it takes time. And if everything else fails, just remember that great customer service always wins. If nothing else, if you give the best possible service to your customers, you will have happy customers, and they will tell other people about your product. So even those apparent overnight successes have usually spent 10 years getting to the point where they become an overnight success. So I think that we all just need to buckle up and get grinding, because that's the way we're going to win.
Thank you very much for this awesome message. And thank you very much for joining the podcast and answering all my questions. It was a very interesting podcast for me. I hope for you as well. And I hope for the people that are watching right now, it was a really interesting podcast. And on this way, I can thank them all. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. And I will see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for having me.